Hi there, Doug from Unscript, and today we're going to walk through the Remediate Unencrypted S3 Buckets runbook. This runbook is included inside runbooks.sh, our open source repository of runbooks that you can run in a Docker instance on your own local machine. I'm running this in our SaaS cloud version, same general principle. But what we're going to do is we're going to run this runbook and find any S3 buckets that might not be encrypted in our account. And if they are not encrypted, we're going to encrypt them. Because clearly, when your data is out in the cloud, it's better to have as much security around it as possible to prevent any sort of security lapse in your content. So I've opened up this runbook. The Unscript internal has run. I'm in the cloud version, so I am running it in an environment. But other than that, there's no input parameters that are required. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the input parameters. You could list a bucket that you want to have encrypted, or you could list a region. If it's blank, it'll still run. And so we'll see what happens. So the first thing it's going to do is going to grab that input. This second action here is going to list all the regions. It will skip this if you've chosen a region. So if you said, I just want to run this in US West 2, it would skip this and just run it in US West 2. However, we haven't chosen a region, so in this case, we're going to get a list of all 27 regions. Next, we are going to filter for all of the unencrypted S3 buckets. And what's going to happen here is this is going to iterate through all of the regions. So it's going to search through all 27 regions for any S3 buckets that are not encrypted. And this will take a second, so we're going to run it. I'll pause the video just for time constraints, and then we'll come back once it has finished completed running. Okay, so now we've run through all 27 regions to filter for unencrypted buckets. And you can see it's run 27 times through all the regions. This next step is just to modify the output. So we're going to take the output from all 27 regions, and we're just going to get a list of the buckets. So if you look at the code here, it's going to read in the list of all of the items and then just append the bucket name in the bucket. And then I added a line here to print the bucket list just so that we can see it just for this use of this video, so you can see that there are buckets that weren't encrypted, and so we're going to encrypt them. As you can see, there's I don't know, 1, 2, maybe 6 or 7 of these buckets. So the last step is now we're going to say, we're going to take that list of buckets, we're going to take the region, and we are going to loop through all of those. You can see we can loop through that bucket list, and we're going to apply that encryption to all of the buckets. So we're going to run that. And what we can see is now there were 9 buckets that were not encrypted, and now they will all be encrypted once the encryption has been completed. So we can come back and run this runbook again in a day or so, and we will find that there are no unencrypted buckets in our AWS account. Now, this might be something that you would run maybe once a week, just to make sure that if any new S3 buckets had been provisioned, that they are all indeed encrypted, that all the content on them is encrypted. But this runbook is included inside runbooks.sh, our open source runbook library. Give it a shot if you're interested. Like, we all need to worry about our cloud security, and this is just one of those steps that we can take to enforce that. Thanks for watching, and watch this space for more videos on different runbooks that we have inside Unscript and runbooks.sh.